Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about what manifestation is. This is perfect for if you're a beginner just getting into the topic, or if you are just wanting a refresher overall what you're doing when you are manifesting, the role you play as a manifestor in this life, and what it all means really. So to give you an overview of what we're going to be talking about today, we'll be going over the meaning of manifestation, who you are and what is your role in the process of manifestation. What exactly is a self-concept? What are states of consciousness and how do they help us manifest? I'll also give a few brief descriptions of some of the most popular methods of manifestation. And I'll finish off by sharing with you a few of the most popular teachers of manifestation. Let's begin. What is the meaning of manifestation? Manifestation is defined as an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. Manifestation is the basis for the law of attraction or the law of assumption, of which I'm sure you've heard at some point in your life. The point is that you take an abstract idea, like wealth for example, and you manifest it to appear in your world as an object like cash or an event like receiving a check. Widen your scope to accept any given idea for the possibility of manifestation, and you have yourself an infinite power and being. Which brings me to my next point, who you are. If no one has told you yet, you are not your mind and you're not your body. These are aspects of your infinite nature, but by no means are they all that you are. You are pure consciousness, pure energy, pure awareness, and that same substance makes up everything in existence. That means that you are everything, everyone, and everywhere right now. There, I just saved you probably $500 and a lifetime of seeking enlightenment by the way of Sri Lama Obama. All jokes aside, you are an infinite awareness calling into physical experience all that which you are aware of being, and all that you believe yourself to be. You are the cause of the phenomena of life, God if you will. And the body of God, your true body, is the imagination, the infinite nature and possibility of consciousness. Now to give you a brief definition of what imagination is. It is defined as the image-making faculty of the mind. But you'll see, it is so much more than that. This brings me to self-concept. Remember, now when we speak of self, we are not speaking of a limited body or mind. Now we speak of self as all of creation, despite our seemingly limited perception of it. Your self-concept, or your concept of self, is everything that you accept and believe as true. If you believe that you are lucky, that is a part of your self-concept. If you believe that the world is doomed, that is a part of your self-concept. If you believe that cookies can build muscle, like me, that is a part of your self-concept, and you will experience physicality in a way that reinforces these truths and proves them to you in your experience, and they will be true to you. This is why your chronically negative friend always has something to be negative about. They believe something bad must be coming, and so it does. Or that overly positive friend of yours that never stays knocked down. They expect and believe in the good, and so they get it. Take a look at the nature of your habitual thoughts and beliefs and notice the role that they play in the life you live moment by moment. If you don't like what you're experiencing, good news, you've come to the right place. Now we will begin to explain how we can change our self-concept and therefore our experience in life through navigating states of consciousness. I have an in-depth video that I'll link in the description where I get deep into states of consciousness from Neville Goddard's point of view. He is one of my favorite manifestation teachers, but more on him later. Here's a brief explanation of what a state of consciousness is. A state of consciousness is an attitude of mind, a state of experience made up of a body of beliefs by which you live. We identify ourselves with a state by saying or feeling, I am rich or I am poor, I am wealthy or I am unwealthy, I am healthy or I am unhealthy, I am loved or I am unloved, I am known or I am unknown. I could go on listing forever, for there are infinite states of consciousness, and no state is greater than another, though the fruit of experience you harvest from one state may be your preference over another. We are always expressing our state of consciousness, and it can be seen or observed by the manifestations of our thoughts, actions, circumstances, and environments. If you'd like to make a change to any of these areas of your life, then a change of state of consciousness is necessary. All states exist and await our entry into them. But how do we do this? How can we become identified with the wealth, love, or renown we desire? By creative use of the imagination and calculated rearrangement of the mind. Creation is finished, the nature of infinity. In the reality capital R of imagination, all time is now, All things that ever have or ever will exist now. There is nothing that you cannot now imagine and assume to be true. Your imagination is the vehicle with which you can navigate into a new state of consciousness and begin to identify with it to create a lasting change in your physical experience. Use your imagination to place yourself in a scene that implies you have embodied your new state of consciousness, the state of your wish or desire fulfilled. If you remain there in feeling, believing in the reality of what you experienced in imagination, despite all physical circumstances, your imaginal act will harden into fact. Infinity is indeed infinite. That means that the reality in which you are the person you desire to be exists here and now. You call that state into physical expression by abiding in it. By abiding in that state of consciousness and believing in its reality, you have planted the seed that will ripen and flower into the physical fulfillment of the state. Now let's go over some of the most popular methods to manifest. Visualization, affirmation, and subconscious mind audios. To practice visualization, focus the mind into a meditative or drowsy, sleepy state. Relax and shut the door to the world of the senses. Then begin to imagine yourself first person present tense into a scene that you would likely experience were your desire fulfilled. To give you an example, I wanted to manifest a truck for my dad. In order to do this, I imagined that he would call me on the phone, asking me to come over and check out his new truck. I did this before sleep, so I was in a drowsy, meditative state. The scene was short and easy to repeat. I simply stood in my kitchen, felt the vibration of my phone, pulled out the phone, and had the short phone call, agreeing to come over and see his new truck. I replayed the scene 4 times, adding more sensory vividness and emotional excitement each time. Then, I dropped that scene and carried that sense of satisfaction and fulfillment into sleep. You will do the same. Work yourself up into the feeling of your wish fulfilled by living that scene in imagination. Then when you are satisfied and feel the reality of that which you imagined as true, then drop it and carry that sense of satisfaction into sleep. You can also do this at any time of day, but it also helps to impress the subconscious doing it before sleep because of the natural frequency of the brainwaves in that state of consciousness. Pro tip: if you believe that you cannot visualize, then you can use imaginal conversations. Hear their voice and respond to them as though it were real. Feel into the reality of what you're imagining, and it will work just as well. Affirmation. Affirmation works best when you pick something you would actually think or say to yourself were your desire fulfilled. Over time, you'll develop a relationship with your subconscious and discover what form of affirmations work best for you. Something simple like "I am wealthy" can work. But if you feel conscious resistance to this idea based on your current physical experience, Dr. Joseph Murphy recommends repeating simply "wealth." The reasoning behind this is that your mind can have no resistance to the simple idea of wealth, perhaps only against the idea that you are wealthy now. And this will work because the idea contains within it all that is necessary for its fulfillment. You can say your affirmations all throughout the day and in meditation. It can also be very helpful to lullaby yourself to sleep, repeating your affirmation over and over until you are lulled into sleep. You can use affirmations and say them without emotion, but what I have discovered in my experience is that heightened emotion helps to impress the subconscious with the reality of what you're affirming. The easier the subconscious is impressed, the faster it will become reality in your physical experience. You can also use an ask-formation, asking, "Why am I so beautiful? Why am I so wealthy and successful?" This will also help to bypass any resistance or negative programming that you may have around the idea or topic. Be sure to state it as a present tense, first-person fact. Subconscious mind audios. You can create your own subconscious mind audio by creating a list of affirmations that you want to be a part of your natural everyday life. Subconscious mind audios often repeat affirmations, maybe even with binaural beats or a meditative music, in order to help you into a relaxed state. And when you're in that relaxed state, these affirmations that are repeated will slip easily into your subconscious. You can find these audios on YouTube or even on Apple Music and Spotify. But many people, myself included, recommend making your own. Some people will use the Parrot app, or if you have editing software, even better, because then you can create your own list of affirmations. You can add your own meditative music or binaural beats to help you get into that sleepy, relaxed state where the subconscious mind will accept more easily the suggestion of your affirmations. These are great because you can play them while you visualize at night, or just whenever throughout your day. Repetition is a huge part of impressing the subconscious. That's why making a habit of listening to these audios can be extremely helpful in impressing your subconscious mind, because over time, it cannot help but accept the idea, even if it does not appear to be true given your current physical circumstances. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up subliminal audios in this section. Subliminal audios place layered affirmations below the consciously audible level. This is done by placing over these affirmations rain or static or music. This prevents resistance from the conscious mind because it cannot be heard consciously. The subconscious mind will hear and accept the affirmation much more easily. There are a lot of subliminal audios available on YouTube. Some believe that uploading to YouTube creates a problem with the quality of the audio and makes them less effective or altogether ineffective. If you'd like to learn more in depth about subliminal audios, I will link an excellent post on Reddit that goes over them and even how you can make your own. Making your own subconscious mind audios is said by many to be the key to success. When your own voice is the one saying these affirmations, the subconscious mind really accepts it as being true about you. I absolutely recommend this. One of the first things I used to do before I got deep into manifestation was listening to subconscious audios overnight, and it made a significant difference in my day-to-day life. A bonus manifestation method, scripting. So if you're someone who likes to write out in story form what is going on in your ideal life, you will find scripting to be extremely useful. There's something about taking a pen or pencil to paper and writing something down that makes it much more real and impressed in the subconscious. You can begin to lose yourself in the process of writing from a state of flow, and in flow, your subconscious takes control, and it will be able to write out the most beautiful scenarios of your desired, perfect life. Now for scripting, you can take time at the end of your day or at the beginning of your day to write out the perfect day. That is, what you would have experienced were it perfect, or what you will experience if it's perfect. This will program your mind to expect that to happen. When you write it in first-person present tense as though it is already true, then your mind expects those things to happen. There are many success stories about people who script out their success day in and day out, and it must become true because it doesn't get lost in all the conscious thoughts of the day. You script out every day, making it a habit to live in imagination your desired life, and habit impresses the subconscious. Now I'll quickly cover 3 of the most popular manifestation teachers of this time. Number 1, my favorite, Neville Goddard. His number 1 book, in my opinion, is The Power of Awareness, but they are all gold. He has over 10 books, and they can be bought together, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Neville Goddard taught manifestation from the 1930s until the early 1970s when he passed away. He taught manifestation through interpretation of the Bible. He recognized that scripture is addressed to the imagination, and that the character known as Jesus Christ is our imagination personified, the one to whom all things are possible. I've got lots of videos where I break down some of his lectures, and definitely more to come. Second is Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks is very popular for the law of attraction. She explains how putting yourself into the energy of your wish fulfilled will attract it to you. She's got many talks and lots of people that have asked her in-depth questions about how to handle their specific experience, and she always gives wonderful answers that come directly from within. And within is the source of all true knowledge. Third is Napoleon Hill, the famous author of Think and Grow Rich. I think he's excellent because he doesn't get too mystical with his teachings. He tells you about the power of your imagination, but he also makes it sound much more scientific, which can be helpful if there are people that don't want to accept their godlike power immediately. The truth is, not everyone is ready to look at life that way, but he gets deep into the idea of use of your imagination, affirmation, what's called the mastermind concept when 2 people come together with one purpose, and much more. His book, Think and Grow Rich, is absolutely excellent and worth checking out. Now, a bonus one for you is Dr. Joseph Murphy, who I mentioned in this video. He's the author of the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. He's very big on affirmations, and he also speaks on visualization in that book. But I definitely recommend it because he's got lots of examples of people that used it successfully, and he always makes it seem so easy. Without effort, we can use this knowledge of the subconscious and how it works to achieve our goals easily and effortlessly. Now, this has been a very long video, and I hope you got some value out of it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.